Joining us now from Houston is Republican Congressman Ted Poe of Texas, who has been active on border issues and has criticized U.S. and Mexican officials in this case. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Harry.
Anything the United States can do to compel Mexican authorities to do more in the search for this body?
The State Department early on I requested that they volunteer to allow Americans to search on the Mexican side. The Mexican government said yes, then they backed off and said, no, we don't want the Americans over here. We need to use the American resources that we have because that area of the lake is controlled by the Zetas. There is an island on that area of the lake where the Zetas really operate. That's the drug cartels. And if we mean business about trying to recover David Hartley's body, we need American involvement, and the Mexican government needs to be relentless into finding it. And they're intimidated now. They really won't go near that area where the Zetas operate.
Now, I think we need to stop and pause for a second, because even the Mexican authorities themselves are clearly not in control. It's the drug cartel that is controlled, because as we heard in Don Teague's story just a moment ago, the Mexican authorities backed away when they were threatened.
That is correct. That area of Falcon Lake, on the Mexican side all the way to the American edge of the water, is controlled by the Zeta cartels. They bring those drugs into the United States, usually at night, by high-speed boats, and they operate. That is their operation. And the Mexican government hasn't been able to stop them, won't stop them, refuses to or cannot, whatever the situation is. And they control that area. The government, neither government controls that area, the drug cartels, and we're being really held hostage by the drug cartels on that area of the lake.
I think it's important for people to realize that some doubt has been cast on Tiffany Hartley's story, but what happened here did not happen in a vacuum, and there is a history of violence along this lake.
That is correct, Harry. This is the 5th incident just since May. American fishermen fishing both on the American side of the lake and on the Mexican side of the lake, and you can get a permit to do that, have been robbed by pirates on the lake. Some of them have been taken to the Mexican side, stripped of all of their clothing and their valuables and their boat, and left stranded there. This is the 5th time since May there's been some type of violence, but the first homicide.
In the short term, what would you like to see happen? And is there any way the United States could get the green light to let their own authorities go to the other side of the lake and do the search that would be necessary?
The United States needs to use our resources, the Coast Guard. That needs to be operating on the lake at all times, not just this time. We have been very lax, in my opinion, as a nation, of protecting the entire southern border of the United States, including Falcon Lake. We don't protect it. We wait for something to happen, and then we just sit back as a nation and wait for someone else to react. We need to cooperate, need better cooperation with the Mexican government, but we need to have really the military presence on the southern border, and that includes putting the National Guard throughout the border, including the Air National Guard, if we are serious about protecting Americans and American property and keeping the drug cartels out of the United States.
Congressman, we thank you very much for your time this morning.
Thank you, Harry.
You bet.